I'll never forget the night I found myself in the clutches of a notorious serial killer. It began innocently enough as I was heading home from a late-night party. The streets were deserted, and an eerie silence hung in the air. Suddenly, a car pulled up beside me, and before I knew it, I was forced inside at knife point. The driver's eyes gleamed with a cold, predatory gaze. As the car sped through the darkness, panic consumed me. The driver revealed in my terror, taunting me with threats and sadistic laughter. I was trapped at the mercy of a deranged killer. My mind raced with thoughts of escape, but the doors were locked and the windows barred shut. The driver's true intentions became clear as we arrived at a desolate location, a secluded cabin deep in the woods. The cabin exuded an aura of dread, its creaking walls and broken windows mirroring the decay within the killer's soul. I knew that a gruesome fate awaited me inside. Within those walls, I was subjected to unspeakable horrors. The killer reveled in the power they held over me, relishing every scream of pain and fear. Days turned into a nightmarish blur as I endured unimaginable torture, praying for a miracle to set me free. But fortune favored the desperate, and on one fateful night, I managed to free myself from my restraints. With every ounce of strength and determination, I fought back, battling the monster who had taken me captive. Blood stained the cabin's walls as the struggle ensued, and in a stroke of luck, I managed to escape into the moonlit woods. Disoriented and wounded, I stumbled through the underbrush, haunted by the chilling laughter of the killer echoing through the night. It took every ounce of resilience to find my way back to civilization, where I finally found safety and solace. The city's underbelly hid a secret that few dared to acknowledge, a web of organized crime that preyed on the vulnerable. I found myself unwittingly caught in this web when I witnessed a heinous act of violence perpetrated by a ruthless gang. Fear gripped me as I realized that I had become a witness to their crimes. The gang's reach extended far and wide, their network of informants and enforcers making escape seemingly impossible. I lived in constant fear, never knowing if a stranger on the street was a member of the gang, ready to silence me forever. Their eyes bore into my soul, a chilling reminder that my life was hanging by a thread. Desperate for a way out, I sought refuge in the shadows, constantly on the move to evade detection. I lived in a state of paranoia, constantly looking over my shoulder, haunted by the feeling that I was being watched. Sleep became a distant memory as nightmares of retribution consumed my nights. In a stroke of luck, I stumbled upon evidence that could bring the entire criminal empire crumbling down. With trembling hands, I sought the aid of law enforcement, risking everything to expose the gang's reign of terror. The days that followed were a whirlwind of covert operations and narrow escapes as the gang fought tooth and nail to eliminate me and protect their criminal empire. But justice prevailed, and the gang's leaders were brought to justice. I emerged from the shadows, a survivor of their reign of terror. The quaint suburban neighborhood I called home became a nightmare when a wave of inexplicable crimes swept through the area. Robberies, assaults, and even grisly murders plagued the once peaceful community, leaving its residents paralyzed with fear. The authorities were baffled, unable to catch the elusive perpetrator behind the string of horrors. Panic spread like wildfire, and neighbors turned against each other, suspicious of everyone's motives. The once friendly streets were now lined with boarded windows and locked doors, a stark contrast to the vibrant community it once was. As the fear grew, so did my determination to uncover the truth. Armed with a thirst for justice, I delved deep into the dark underbelly of the neighborhood, following breadcrumbs of clues that led me to the heart of the crimes. It was a treacherous journey, fraught with danger and the constant threat of discovery. My investigation led me to an abandoned house, a crumbling mansion that stood as a decrepit testament to the evil that had infected the neighborhood. Cautiously, I stepped inside, the floorboards creaking beneath my weight. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding, and shadows danced along the walls like malevolent specters. Within those haunted walls, I discovered the truth. A cult had taken root in our community. Their twisted rituals and macabre practices were the sources of the horrors that had plagued us. The cult's leader, a charismatic yet deranged figure, reveled in the chaos they had unleashed upon the neighborhood. My heart raced as I uncovered their plans. A grand sacrifice, an event that would unleash untold darkness upon the world. Time was of the essence as I raced against the clock to dismantle the cult and put an end to their reign of terror. It was a battle of wills, a desperate struggle between good and evil. In a climactic showdown, I confronted the cult's leader, their eyes filled with a sinister madness. The air crackled with malevolence as our paths collided, the fate of the neighborhood hanging in the balance. With every ounce of strength and determination, I fought against the darkness, refusing to let it consume us. The victory came at a great cost, and the scars of that battle would forever mar my soul. But as I looked upon the neighborhood, now free from the grip of fear, I knew that my sacrifice was not in vain. I was a young and ambitious journalist, eager to uncover the truth and expose the corruption that plagued our society. Little did I know that my pursuit of justice would lead me down a treacherous path, where danger lurked at every turn. I stumbled upon a hidden world of organized crime, a powerful syndicate that had infiltrated every aspect of society. Their web of influence extended from law enforcement to the highest echelons of power. As I dug deeper, I became entangled in a web of deception, with each revelation putting my life in greater jeopardy. The syndicate's enforcers were ruthless, with no qualms about eliminating anyone who dared to threaten their empire. I became a target, constantly on the run, seeking refuge in the darkest corners of the city. Paranoia became my constant companion as I navigated the shadowy underbelly, always looking over my shoulder. In my quest for truth, I uncovered a heinous secret, an underground human trafficking ring that preyed on the most vulnerable. Innocent lives were bought and sold, their cries for help silenced by the cold, heartless individuals who profited from their suffering. The weight of their pain became my burden, fueling my determination to bring them justice. With the odds stacked against me, I sought the aid of a small group of allies, brave individuals who had also been victims of the syndicate's cruelty. Together, we formed an unlikely alliance, fighting against the very fabric of corruption that threatened to suffocate our city. The battles were fierce, with gunfire echoing through the night and narrow escapes from the clutches of death. But through sheer resilience and unwavering determination, we started to dismantle the syndicate, piece by bloody piece. The city's underbelly trembled as its foundations crumbled, and justice slowly but surely began to prevail. The rural town I called home was known for its idyllic landscapes and tight-knit community. But beneath the surface of tranquility lay a sinister secret, a series of occult rituals and blood-curdling crimes that defied all reason. It started innocently enough, with whispers of strange happenings and sightings of hooded figures in the dead of night. As the whispers grew louder, a palpable fear settled over the town, casting a shadow of dread that refused to dissipate. I couldn't ignore the dark undercurrent any longer, and embarked on a journey to uncover the truth. My investigation led me deep into the heart of the town's history, unearthing a legacy of forbidden knowledge and ancient rituals that had been passed down through generations. The darkness that gripped the town became tangible as I witnessed the horrors of the occult firsthand. Midnight gatherings in the heart of the forest, where chants echoed through the trees and sacrificial altars dripped with the blood of the innocent. I stood on the precipice of a nightmare, where reality and the supernatural intertwined in a dance of madness. But as I delved deeper, the line between observer and participant blurred. The allure of forbidden power called to me, whispering promises of untold knowledge and unimaginable abilities. It was a temptation that threatened to consume me, to transform me into a vessel for the very evil I sought to eradicate. In a battle against my own desires, I fought tooth and nail to resist the darkness. Armed with ancient texts and the strength of my convictions, I confronted the leaders of the occult, their eyes gleaming with a sinister fanaticism. It was a battle of wills, a struggle between the forces of light and the encroaching abyss. As the final confrontation reached its climax, a cataclysmic surge of energy tore through the night, shaking the very foundations of the town. At that moment, the tides turned, and the darkness was vanquished. The occult's influence over the town was shattered, and a sense of relief washed over the community.